jovial Yugoslavian named Mirko Spoprovnik received radio reports of a typhoon in the area of Wake Island, and accordingly instructed his chief navigator to set the course southward by 20 degrees toward the equator to avoid all risk. Since it was a pleasure cruise for the most part, Captain Spoprovnik did not think that his passengers would express displeasure at being at most an extra day aboard his vessel. It was a warm, calm July evening in the year 1924. From the dining saloon ornate with a crystal chandelier and red velvet carpeting, there came the pleasant buzz of conversation, the clinking of glasses and of silverware against which one heard the discreet background of melodies played by a 5-piece string ensemble. At the captain's table, Spoprovnik, resplendent in his formal evening uniform with gold braid markings on both sleeves to designate 6 years of service as the master of the anesthesia, was lifting his champagne glass to toast the elegantly beautiful woman seated to his right. She was Marcia Chalmers, a wealthy heiress bound for her native city of San Francisco after a pleasure trip to Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Ceylon in the company of her attractive but meekly deferential maid, Jacqueline Wilson. "A toast to beauty, madame," the captain gallantly murmured, and Marcia Chalmers self-consciously smiled as she lifted her glass to acknowledge the tribute. "Thank you, Captain," she murmured. With properly demure and downcast eyes, "Then you think we will not be too late in reaching San Francisco?" "Oh no, madame," he said. He shook his head. "At most 24 hours, I assure you. This change of course was for the safety of our passengers. There are reports of a typhoon building up ahead of our original course, and the conditions may continue for at least 48 hours. We are heading south, but if good weather prevails, there is no reason why our powerful engines cannot make up some of the lost time once we are out of Honolulu." Marcia Chalmers shrugged her beautifully rounded, creamy shoulders, enticingly displayed by her silver lame evening gown. "I think that is very wise, Captain," she agreed. "Another day on this delightful ship will not displease me in the least." Captain Spoprovnik inclined his head. "Madame is most understanding and most kind," he replied, his dark eyes glinting as they swiftly contemplated the alluring valley of her full, firm, widely spaced breasts, which the bodice of her gown so provocatively revealed. Then, turning to his left, he politely inquired, "And you, Mr. Granville, I trust the slight delay which may occur will not be too greatly inconvenient to you?" John Granville, a handsome brown-haired industrialist of 43, smilingly hastened to reassure the master of the Anastasia. "Not at all, Captain Spoprovnik. My daughter Betty and I have no pressing business whatsoever, as you know. After my wife's untimely death in April, I felt it best to take Betty on a trip to the Orient, so that both of us might try to forget our grief. She has been in an exclusive young ladies' finishing school for several years, and our sad bereavement has given us an opportunity to become acquainted with each other again." With this, he turned to his left to smile at this golden-haired daughter, who quickly smiled back at him and squeezed his hand, the while lowering her magnificent blue eyes as a vivid blush crimsoned her satiny cheeks. Captain Mirko Spoprovnik sighed and nodded sympathetically. Granville, I can understand that. My own dear wife died a dozen years ago, and I had my work to distract me from remembering my loss. But at least, Mr. Granville, you have your daughter to console you. Whereas I was not blessed with children, alas. Don Granville's virile features were shadowed as he quickly glanced back at Betty and responded softly. That is very true, Captain Sapronik. Betty is indeed the living image of her beloved mother. So, I am fortunate to be reunited with my daughter. But perhaps if it has not been for my business travels, I might have been beside my wife. Perhaps might have prevented her death by seeing that she had expert medical attention at the time she contracted the rare disease that ended her life. But you should not so reproach yourself, Mr. Granville, Captain Sapronik sympathetically replied. From what you have told me, there is no previous sign of illness. That is true. Diane's health was always robust. She must have contracted a malady in Benares last summer when she accompanied me on one of my business trips. He uttered a long sigh. It was his second honeymoon, and I shall never forgive myself for its strange ending. Which is part of my immense smut collection that I inherited.